Hello, Rosebuds. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the Rose Garden. If this is your first time seeing my face, my name is Kimberly Ann. I do collective messages. I also talk about life's lessons, and I tell it all through my own story. I help people to get out of dark places, just like I had to do at a point in my life, and I hope I can help you. Check the description box below if you need any guidance, want me to maybe help you like through life, but I have to use your natal chart so I can see what your contract was with God when you decided to come down here. I have to see your natal chart. Other than that, that's the end of my spiel. Hit like, subscribe, ring my bell so you know when I post, okay? So I don't know if y'all remember 2 days ago, I had said connect with your family. This is the time to connect with your family. Have those deep conversations and find joy amongst your family members. And today, which is why I'm so late doing this video, but it was so worth it. I got to connect with my brother. I spoke with my brother. It's so crazy. I spoke with my sister on Wednesday and my brother on Friday, and it's been a wave of emotions all week. And I wanted to just share some of the things that my brother said. It was two key takeaways I took from our conversation, because my brother was basically saying to me, like, T, don't lose hope in regards to finding love, because part of my journey is trying to gain answers as to why and how I've ended up in the situations that I have. So that was one of the things. Like, I called him asking him, did he know, our mom was the other woman? Like, and he's like, he's like, yes, I've realized that, but at the end of the day, T, you gotta realize that mom and dad chose each other. He was like, despite all the history and everything going on, at the end of it all, they still chose each other through all the chaos, through all the storm, and all of that stuff. And I was in my head, I was like, he's actually absolutely right. I guess. And he didn't realize, he said, you and I both have had two different experiences. I said, we have. I said, mom and dad treat you different than me, whereas you've gotten to make choices. I've tried to make choices and I've gotten condemned for them. He was like, you've always been a woman of choice. And he was like, unlike mom was the chosen. And one of the key things he said was, some choose and some are chosen. He was like, and you have been this way your entire life. He's like, you've taken your power. That's your power, is you make the choice. You never leave it up to someone to choose you. You make it your business to choose. He's like, and that's not a bad thing. He was like, it's power in that, because you're not waiting around for someone to finally choose. It's with you, it's like, you either gonna choose or I'm out. I said, that's just facts, And it was a good conversation. He also said, it don't matter who and when you choose, as long as you choose. And there will be some back and forth. And he was letting me know, like, T, there will never be a perfect relationship. He's like, and I understand what you're saying and where you're coming from. You want a relationship that has a sort of freedom to it that we've never experienced. I said, no, we've never experienced that type of freedom. He was like, and it's your choice to choose that and to create that. He's like, and I think, he's like, I just don't want you to lose hope in assuming that you now have to live a life where you're just alone forever. He's like, I don't want you to have to do that. He was like, because there's someone for you. He was like, don't lose hope. He was like, you can destroy a nation if you take their help away. He was like, and I don't want you to do that. He was like, but believe there is somebody for you, for sure. And I was like, yeah. I said, I'm just tired. He was like, I've heard this before. He's like, yeah, I've heard. He's like, I've said that. And he said, that's a spiritual tired. Like, your spirit is tired. I said, my spirit is, because I'm tired of having to pull her out and patch her up from hurts that I didn't cause. I said, and my hurts come from putting my heart out there to love someone, and then they turn around and stump it or do something stupid that make me snatch my shit back and walk off. And he was like, I get that. He was like, but not everybody gonna do that. He was like, not everybody gonna do that. You just got to keep hope alive and know that it's still coming or whatever. So the message for today is to continue choosing. You know what I'm saying? Some are chosen and some choose. And once you realize your place in that, which when my brother said that, something clicked, and I said, you know what, that's funny, because the whole lesson for me, especially with my mentor and everything, was them teaching me how to choose my partners. And that's what I had to learn. And he said, you have that power. You have that power. And I'm like, that's crazy. At the end of it all, it comes down to me learning how to choose correctly. You've never been the one to be chosen, because you ain't gonna allow someone or just anyone to choose you, even though it felt like it because of the 3 that I've had. But you wasn't never for the streets. You were never out there just waiting to be picked. You would go get it no matter what. You've always chosen to go get what it is you may need or whatever. You've never just sat there and waited to be chosen. You would go get it. And when he said that, I said, you know what, you absolutely right. You know, me trying to figure out answers and as to why I'm living out this karmic blueprint and all that and above, it really ain't even got nothing to do with my parents' era and what they went through and did in their past. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that. It's the fact that now I'm of the age where I could choose my own life. And now I choose to have and create what it is that I want. And now, granted, I told my brother, like, I've come to the place where I am totally okay if it never happens. Like, because at this point, what do I need anyone for? And I told him, I was like, I don't need anyone for anything. Like, you can buy a dick. You can, I can pay my own bills. You know? I counsel myself. Like, I've literally had to do my own healing. It's like, what do I need someone for at this point? You know? And he was like, that is true, but I don't believe you're meant to be alone forever. That's what my brother's like, I don't want to see my sister alone forever. I'm like, I know, but, you know, we all got to kind of come to peace with that. Maybe what it is. So I'm like, I'm at peace with the shit, you know? But yeah, my kids don't want to see it either. They've even said that, like, no, Mom, because when we're gone, who's going to take care of you? I'm like, me? Who you think took care of you? Type shit. But, and you know, it is, I never realized how much power I held until my brother really said that. And he's actually right. Like, I made the choice to leave all their fathers when they wasn't acting appropriately. But then, you know, my brother also said something else, like, you know, him and his wife, they wake up every day and choose. And he spoke on, you know, his wife has had many reasons to walk away, and she hasn't. And it take a special kind of woman to really stick with a man, whether they, you know, and I'm not saying my brother abused her, I'm not saying nothing like that, but I know females who done been dogged the fuck out to the max, and they kept choosing to stick with somebody. But then I know, like my mom, for instance, I have seen her face when her daughter is living a dream she wished she could have lived. And I didn't have no man promising to help me get me there. It was just me that got me there, you know? And I told my brother, the one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to die and regret, because my grandmother did too. My grandmother wished that it was more things she had to do, but she chose to be a nurse, a wife, and a mom. And for me, I enjoy having multiple roles in life and doing multiple things. I've always been multi-talented, multifaceted. Just the one thing I was never really good at was relationships. That's the only thing I've never been really good at. But after my brother said that, I'm starting to really see, like, maybe it really wasn't you. It's just you chose you. And you assess the situation before walking away and realize if you need something, they can't do it. And I said that to my brother, because my brother's like, my wife know that I'm gonna show up every time. And I said, see, I haven't had that. None of my children's fathers show up. None of them. Even when I was married to my ex-husband, he would show, but it was always, I had to be the brains. I had to think through shit. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention all of the backlash and shit that came from him riding my back to his family. It was a lot. I almost lost my parents dealing with him. You know what I'm saying? Because we fell out because of him. So I told my brother, it's been proven time and time again that in the event I need something, or I need help, the only person I've ever been able to bet on is me. Which is why every single time I'm going to choose me. And my brother was like, I understand that. He was like, I get it. He was like, and you got that right to choose you, because you gonna pull up every time. I was like, I'm for real. I'm going to pull up every time. It's going to be all right. So, I don't know. I really didn't have too much of a message today for y'all, for real, except for that. Like I said, I make these videos through my own story. So y'all seeing me go through highs and lows, the whole nine, and dealing with different various emotions and shit. But that was something I had to battle with my brother today. I actually go this afternoon for a craniosacral therapy. So it was kind of suiting or fitting to have had that conversation with my brother, because we both was crying type shit and stuff like that. So it was real suiting, because now I get to go later on and really get those stored emotions knocked out of me, so then I can kind of start moving forward and finish this healing that I've been going through, that has been nonstop. And like I tell people, healing is not linear. It's not. You're going to heal in various ways. And my brother said something profound, which is something that I totally understood, is that he's like, you're going to find someone who you choose to deal with. They are worth you actually choosing. He said, and they're going to do something that is you're going to have to heal from. He was like, so you just got to be ready. And I'm like, you know what? That's true. I agree with that. I already know that I'm going to be healing even in the healthy relationship. And I get that. 36 as I'm rolling past this minivan. But I said, that's crazy. I didn't realize, I didn't realize how sad I was, and how much I was digging for answers that there's really no answer you can really dig for. There's no answer you can dig for real. He was like, you just gotta hold tight. He like, please hold tight. Don't lose hope. T. He like, I don't want my sister losing hope. He called me T because my middle name T. But yeah, he was like, please don't lose hope. And I'm like, I keep comparing, and I'm like, I'm seeing our mom. She ain't living her best life. Like, who wants to live a life of labor? I was like, you ain't never. I said, remember when Grandma would take all them trips all across the country and around the world? Grandpa ain't never go with her on them. I was like, I don't want a person like that. I'm like, that was one of the issues I had with Tonio. He didn't want to go and explore and do shit. He felt like he went to work and that was enough, and that's all he had to do. And I'm not like that. I like to explore. I want someone I can go and explore the world with and live vicariously and experience things. I don't want to stick in the fucking mud. And then I don't want to stick in the fucking mud that talk shit but don't pull up when I need them either. I've had that with all of them. And my brother, we ended up talking about my first child's father, because he told my daughter, if I can get the chance to get back with your mother, I'm going to get back with your mother. And I said to my brother, I don't think I could go back to that. And he's like, well, people can change, T. Y'all was real young when y'all had Lena. We talking like 14, 15 years ago. I was like, that is true, but the history of it all, that situation was the most toxic. I had to heal from that by myself. Why would I go back? Why would I give him the version of me that's more healed than I was at that time? Why would I allow him that pleasure? I just can't. Like, me and him that fought. His family hated my guts. And the only reason all that shit changed was because he went to jail. He went to prison. He got sentenced to 11 years for some dumb shit. And he had to write notes to everybody begging them to make sure me and Lena was cool, which they didn't. Like, they didn't. Only his mama would pull up every once in a while. And then we would drive to go see her sister, but they didn't. You know, and I was like, I had to heal from a lot of that. I said he wanted to have me jump by two of his fat ass cousins. All because I didn't want to be with him, because I chose myself. I said, so what if in the event, not saying that I would choose myself and end the relationship again, but if I choose to do something that benefits me, will it turn into a war zone like it did last time? And the last thing I'm going to be in is a war zone relationship. My brother was like, and I'm going to be real, he was like, you really got some valid points. That's a good reason why not to go back into that shit. He was like, you got some valid points. Because that's a lot. That's a lot to swallow, and you can forgive it, but it's a lot to not be sleeping with one eye open and one eye closed. I was like, exactly. I'm not going to feel comfortable. Then you didn't told your whole family I'm shit. Now you want to bring me around as your girlfriend? Like, I don't want to be looking at these motherfuckers looking at me crazy. So, you know, it's just a lot. Some things that I'm still working through. I am still a work in progress. I'm still learning how to choose love correctly. And I won't know that I've chosen it correctly until I get to experience that love, I guess. Like, I will never really know, I guess. I don't know. But talking to my brother today was very, very enlightening. And it was refreshing. And I actually really, really, really needed that talk with him to work through a lot of the emotions that I was feeling. Because if any of you saw my video yesterday, which I did, arch that video. I'm not going to release that at this time. I'll release it at a later date, or put it back on the page at a later date. In regards to my parents' situation, I'm like, I feel like I'm living out their karma. You know, my sister and I lived two separate lives on a parallel plane. She without dad, me with dad, but we still ended up at the same point where we both single mamas, then dealt with fucked up ass people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, how? Why? We living out our father's karma for all the shit he done did to everybody from his past. I said, and it's just not fair. I'm just trying to find an answer. I'm trying to find something to blame. But when it's all said and done, it was the choices that I made. I can be accountable for that. It was just me choosing people without vetting them as to why I've ended up in the situations that I have ended up. And I told my brother, like, what irritates the fuck out of me is how all three of them have felt the need to try and double back. Like, why would you want to come back? You ain't want to treat me right the first time. Why would you want to come back? And that's what really pisses me off. You raggedy bitch. You don't make me miss the light. Sorry, y'all. So, yeah, I didn't want to be on here too long. Just a short spiel for my rosebuds. Hit like, hit subscribe, share this video with someone who may be kind of going through them weird feelings like I'm going through. Like, we working through this together. We in this together. Shit, life gets better. I can't say life gets better because from where I was to where I am, life has most definitely gotten much better. I cannot complain at all. And I was telling my brother, like, I'm proud of myself because I'm living differently than my mom and my grandma health-wise. Like, my doctor was even like, out of all the black women she has seen that's about to crack 40, they ain't never had labs like yours. Like, the only thing I'm dealing with is just making sure I drink more water. Like, that's it. I need to drink more water. So, I'm just, yeah. I'm at a point where I'm like, you know, either way it go, if it don't happen, cool. If it do, I hope it turn out all right. And my brother's like, don't sabotage when you do get it. He was like, I just don't want you to sabotage it because you got so much fear in your heart. I said, yeah, I don't want to sabotage it either. I don't. You know, another thing that's kicking my ass is I got so many young cats trying to talk to me. I mean, young. I don't want nobody I got to babysit. I really don't. I don't. But there was one in particular that I was like, damn, he matured than a motherfucker. That is wild. Like, more mature than the 40-year-olds that have tried to talk to me. So, yeah, that's the end of my spiel, y'all. I'm about to pick up my baby girl, my oldest baby. She mad at me. She had to get a shot today. So I got to make sure I'm there on time so that she don't feel any worse. But I will talk to you guys later. And y'all have a good day. We will do a video tomorrow. I don't know what time I'm going to post, but I'm going to definitely try to do it. And happy Friday. Happy Venus Day. Love y'all.